This last little video is all I have time for today, and I hope to finish up with everything that I did hear and understand in the two videos of yours that I looked at. This one we go back to the quantum world, where you say everything seems to be in a flux, where nothing is definite, and where the atoms seem to be doing things only when we look at them, or as they say in quantum, only when we observe what they are doing. And you go on to say that it seems as if the atoms cannot make up their minds until we look at them. So this action of observing the atom is the moment when we create what the atom can and cannot do in our own consciousness, out of the full potential consciousness that is. We always get back to that, don't we? It's like the potential of consciousness is simply waiting for us to come along and create something out of it, so that we can then experience it. And it is our perception and our paradigm that we have decided to live by that dictate what we can actually observe, because we then create an action of the atom according to what we believe it can do, which is governed by our paradigm or our perception. And so when we observe, we actually do see the actions according to what we feel is possible. And there is no way to tell if, when we are not observing, what the atoms are actually doing. It is because of our closed perception and our closed consciousness that we only observe what we believe the atoms can do. If we want to see other things that the atom is doing, we must open our consciousness to the possibilities. And quantum physics tells us quite frankly that there are many mathematical equations that answer the observable phenomena, but that we do not actually observe. And that is because our consciousness is not open to the possibility of those equations. Our consciousness is not open to the possibility of those equations actually being true. Therefore, we don't observe them. In order to do this, we must break away from our paradigm and create a new paradigm that does not have the limiting beliefs that we have in our human realm. And definitely, quantum is rescuing us and allowing us to break down many of the barriers that have kept us captive in this human realm the way we thought it was constructed. That's the beauty of quantum. In my first book, Lifting the Veil of Consciousness, I do explain in layman's terms the first experiment done in quantum physics, called the double slit experiment, in which, through the channel information I was given, I was told that the electron has its own consciousness. And when we are observing, it is our consciousness and the consciousness of the electron that are playing together. And the electron is then deciding whether or not it wants to react in the way that we perceive it possible, or whether it doesn't. And now, when it doesn't, when the electron decides to do its own thing, we're not aware of it, because our perception does not include the possibility that the electron does something different. That is the only reason why we don't actually perceive it. We have no idea, and we can have no idea of what the electron is actually doing behind our back, so to speak, until we open our consciousness to the possibility that the electron does have a consciousness and can make its own decisions, and is indeed making its own decisions, whether to follow our paradigm and our creation with us, or whether not. We must give away, and we must release and give into this full potentiality of all in order to be able to understand what this fullness of the consciousness that is all about. We are a flux within all of this. We are a momentary representation of a condensed form of this consciousness. And we are experimenting. Each and every new question that we pose is us experimenting with this understanding from the universal consciousness that we can create whatever. It's such a huge concept, quite frightening for many people, and that fear then clamps down and limits us again from being able to reach beyond into the unlimited, dare I say, the unlimited ocean of consciousness. And I hesitate with that because an ocean is of the physical realm, and it definitely has its boundaries. The ocean of consciousness is full potential. There are no boundaries. There is no physical. But ocean will give you the idea of these waves of pure conscious potential. And then as we perceive and wish to experience in a movement of consciousness, it collapses out of this full potential into being. I would like to end with a technique that I'd like to pass on to you, because at the end of one video that I was listening to, you were saying that you would be looking into several different other aspects of your consciousness, and you said you would see how far that confuses you. I would like to take this example as in twofold. You have sent out an idea, a wish, to the universal consciousness that you want to understand. Therefore, you will research and you will read some more. So that message has gone out to the universe, and that's then what you will experience. But then you top it off with what I call a destructive thought pattern by saying, I'll see how far this confuses me. That thought pattern also goes out to the universal consciousness and is showered back down on you, just like your desire and your ability to research and try to understand. So, if you don't want to experience confusion, be very careful with your thought process in creating more confusion by saying, see how far that confuses me. Why not change it into a constructive thought pattern, or what I can also call a creative thought pattern? Something like, let's see how far my consciousness opens and clarifies my questions for me. I think you'll find answers coming in quite a lot faster if you try something of the sort. Now, these kind of techniques are in my books as well, but that will help you enormously to clarify what confuses you. I wish that you will be able to expand beyond all the limits. I do believe that it is a beautiful state. I have been taken on meditations in my first book by the beings that were channeling through me. I have been taken on meditations to show us what this pure, non-formed, bodiless state of pure consciousness is like. And it is beautiful. So thank you very much. And right now, that's all I have time for today. But I would like to show my slides so that other people may be able to look at information for you. Or not information for you, but information for them. Right now, I do not have any capability on my website to sell my books on an e-book, but they are available with Amazon Kindle. You can, if you would prefer a printed copy of my books, then you may contact me, as I said here, direct via PayPal, or they are also available on Amazon, but at a little bit higher price. I thank you all so much for listening, and I look forward to more questions. I'll always do my best to try to clarify for me and for you. These questions are wonderful. Thank you very much.